Okay, so welcome to Goscore. Today we are going to discuss regarding the reading subtest, and in that we'll discuss regarding reading part B in detail. Okay, in reading part A, you'll have 20 questions and you need to complete within 15 minutes. In your reading part B, you will have 22 questions and you have to complete within 45 minutes. In reading part B, you'll get 6 questions. Okay, now we're moving to reading part B in detail. Transitioning OET reading pacify down your brain when the invigilators start collecting your part A booklets and distribute part B and C booklets. In your reading subtest, reading part A, you will get 2 booklets. One is the text booklet and one is question and answers. They'll collect these 2 booklets and they'll provide you with the part B and part C booklets. Okay, so it will be together, part B and part C. So in between, you will get a few time. But in your part B and C, you will have 45 minutes for 22 questions. That means approximately you will get 2 minutes per. So in part B, you can take maybe 12 minutes maximum, so that you will get 33 minutes in your part C. So it's up to you. If you're completing within 10 minutes, you'll get more time in your parts. Then 6 short texts from different healthcare workplace. That means policy documents, hospital guidelines, manuals or internal communication, emails, sometimes it is memos, clinical trials or guidelines. Okay, you'll get 6 questions. Then 6 multiple choice questions with 3 options. Okay, so you need to choose the best answer. Now in part B, you need to follow QAT method. It's nothing but question, answer option, then text. Okay, read the question statement. Then you need to read the answer options, then read the text. Why we are following this method? Because in some questions, we can once we read the question statement, after that, if you read the answer options, you can select one correct answer without reading the text sometimes. Okay, not every time, but sometimes it is possible. Because of that, we are giving the guidance like you need to read the answer options, then you need to read the text. Now, 5 easy steps to speed up during part B. So read the context sentence, which gives you information about the text type. For example, blood pressure monitor or guidelines, something they'll give you the context. So you need to read that so that you will get an information about what it involves. Okay, then read the question statement, answer options. This is very important because there is a difference between correct answer and the right answer. What is correct answer or the best matching answer? When you will choose the answer option which is appropriate to your question. That is the correct answer. The right answer means information is there. Sometimes they will give the same information from the text. They'll give you as an answer option. It may not be appropriate to the question which they have asked. Okay, so always try to choose the best matching answer or the correct answer, not the right answer. So we are moving to strategies, signpost, and clues. Okay, first, focus on paragraph structure. Paragraph structure, you need to understand the paragraph structure. So you will have the topic sentence and the topic sentence will explain you what the next sentence will be. Okay, so when you read the topic sentence, you will get an idea what they are going to explain. Okay, so after the topic sentence, there will be the developing sentence and the supporting sentences. So you need to understand the structure of the paragraph. Then sentence to understand the gist or main idea in the paragraph. All paragraph, there will be a topic sentence, and most of the time it will be like the first sentence will be the topic sentence. And okay, contrast word means but, however, although, even though, despite, all those things are contrast words. We have to look for the opinions after the contrast words. Whatever comes after the contrast words, you need to give importance to that. Okay. Now, focus on scale expressions. So, for example, scale expressions like all, most, majority, many, a few are some of the examples for scale expressions. So, in your answer options, if they have given you most, and in your text, if it is a few or few, then it is not same, right? So you need to identify the scale expression. What is the meaning of the scale expression? You need to identify that. Okay, focus on scale expressions. Then cause and effect language. You need to understand the cause and effect language. If they are asked you for a cause, you need to definitely write a cause or reason. Don't select the option which is the effect, because in the answer options, they will give you cause. Sometimes they will ask you the effect, but you will think like, okay, this is already mentioned in the text, so it may be the correct answer. So we'll choose the cause. But they asked you regarding the result or the effect. So when they will ask you the effect or the result, you have to choose the effect, not the causes. So be careful when you will get causative language paragraphs. Okay. Now look for hedging words in the question statement. When you will read the question statement, need to identify what you need to identify from the text. So look for the hedging words. That means the key words in the question statement. Look for synonyms, synonymous language, and paraphrasing. Then look for names. This we have already discussed in the previous sessions. Look the names, name of a body part, any equipments, all those things comes under the names. Then numbers. Look for modal verbs. Modal verbs example, may, can, should, might, would, will, would, must. All these are examples for modal verbs. Okay. So in your answer option, they may given you the modal verb may, but in your text, it will be like must. Then both are not same. So you have to understand the function of these modal verbs. Okay. Then ignore the subject complements. So what is the subject complement? This is an example for the subject complement. Okay. The words or sentences, phrases in between the commas, you can just ignore that. Even without reading this, you will get the meaning of this particular sentence, right? Alison Haslam, okay, MD. No need between the commas, no need to read. And Vinay Prasad, again MD, both Oregon Health and Science University in Portland. Note that practices in biomedicine are often adopted because they appeal to our hopes and there is biologic possibility. So if you are reading this both Oregon Health and Science University in Portland, it doesn't make any difference, right? So why you need to waste your time? Because you have only 45 minutes and you need to complete 22 questions. So no need to read this complements, subject complements. You can avoid that and read, you will get a meaning of the particular sentence. So you can ignore the subject complement. Now we are moving to elimination skills. So everybody will tell like you need to eliminate the wrong answers. But how to eliminate the wrong answers? It is important, right? So we have 7 skills regarding the elimination strategies. The first strategy, eliminate the absolute. Okay. Eliminate the absolute. What is an absolute? Absolute is our north-south options. That means extreme values. Words like never, all, every, always, and none. Then so many other synonyms also. Only, everyone, no one. These all are absolutes. For example, if you're taking a scale 0 to 30, 0 is an absolute and 30 is also an absolute. Okay. So these are the absolute. If you have absolute word in your answer option, you can eliminate that options. That will not be your correct answer. Okay. Now, second one, eliminate the wrong ones. Eliminate any obviously wrong answers. That means what? When you will read the answer options and after that, when you will read the text, you will feel like, okay, they didn't anything regarding these options in the particular text. Then it's obviously wrong answers, right? You can eliminate. If you are sure 100% it is not from this particular text, you can eliminate. So eliminate the wrong ones. Now look for precise language. That means more professional and scientific answer will be the correct answer. If you have any grammatical mistakes in your answer options, then that answer will not be the correct answer. Okay. For example, like for nouns, verbs, and adjectives, check for that. Singular and plural. For example, patients, they have given in the question patients, and in the answer option, they need to mention they, right? They can't mention like he or she. Now, read the nouns and pronouns in connection. If they given patients in the question, it should be they, not it, or he or she, whatever it is. Okay. So you need to be very careful when you will read the answer option. If there is a grammatical mistake, that would be your answer. Okay. Now, next one is straight opposites. Okay. Straight opposite means if you have 2 options, straight opposites, then from that 2, one of them will be the correct. Okay. If you have 3 options, A, B, and C, B and C are opposites, then you can omit A option. That will not be your answer. Then from B and C, you need to select one. So straight opposites, one of them will be the correct answer. Then radical answers. Radical answers are always incorrect answers. That means which is goes beyond boundaries. Then educated guess. Educated guess means logic plus elimination plus compare with the questions. So you'll compare with the questions options according to the logic you are guessing. Then that is educated guess. Then the last one is random guess. That is prefix your answers. Even before going your exam also, you can prefix your answers. But it's like, for example, you will have 22 questions in your part B and part C. Okay. So you have taken 10 minutes for your part B. Then you will have 30. Okay. So you have taken 20 minutes for your part C first extract, and you'll have only some 10 to 15 minutes in your part C. and you have completed 4 questions. Last 4 questions are remaining. What you need to do, you have to select one option for all the answers. Usually what we will do, if you will not get time, we'll select A, B, D, C, all options. Alternately, we'll just simply will select. No, you're not supposed to do that. If you're not okay, this is the last resort. This elimination is the last resort. Don't use if you know the strategies. If you have time, don't use this. Okay, if you don't have time, only 1 minute back, 5 minutes balance, and you need to complete 4 or 5 questions, that time you can use this method, but select only one option. If you select all 4 questions, option A. If you're selecting B, then for all the questions you need to choose B answer. Okay, now yes, then similar sounding words. Yes, sometimes we may get options like similar soundings. Okay, option A and C look same. Okay, some words will be different, but looks like same. If we are getting like that options, then one of them will be the correct and the other one you can eliminate. Then read the text and find out the correct. Okay, yes. And this process of elimination, when to be used. As I told you, it's a last resort. Like we will give CPR, right? In the last minute, like to save life. So it will be like this. If you have time, don't use this. Okay, if you're not getting time, definitely no other option, then you can use it. Okay, so usually for 3 options question, if you have multiple choice, 3 options, most of the time like 33% will be correct. And 4 options means 25% it will be correct. For example, in your part C, you will have 8 questions and 4 options. Okay. So if you're choosing an option, for example, if you're choosing B as your answer for all that 8 questions, definitely 2 of them will be correct answer. Okay. Now, skim and skip. Easy to challenging, high jump, avoid focus mode, allow brain work in the background. So when you will read the question and after that you'll read the answer options, then you'll read the text. Okay. After reading the text, you are finding difficulty to find out the answer. Please skip that question and do the next one. Okay. Don't stay there and don't think about the same question. Okay. Change your focus mode to the next one. Don't think about the same question. If you're moving to the second next question also, don't think about the previous question. Okay. So after that, you can finish all the questions. Then if you'll get time, you can come back and read the question properly and find out the answer. And avoid footprint. That means for the 29th question A, 30 question C, 31 question B. Okay. That is okay. But if 29th A, 30 A, 31 A, 32 A, if you are getting like this, please check your questions once again. Some answers are wrong. Okay. Longest statement. If you have the longest statement, then the possibility of the correct answer. Then similar sounding keywords. One of them is likely to be correct, that we have already explained. Then read each answer option. As I told you, right was correct answer. So right answer and correct answer are different. Be careful when you're choosing the answer option. Then read the instruction properly. Then after reading the question, just answer in your mind before going to the option. Some questions, it's all from the medical journals, right? So after reading the question, you can just think, okay, this will be the answer maybe. Okay, you can just answer in your mind. So first question, the email informs physiotherapist that. Okay. So email informs physiotherapist that. So physiotherapist that what? Okay, dash. First option. So our method is what? QAT method, right? Question and answer option that informs physiotherapist. That is the key phrase in the question statement. Okay. Then option A, advise them on the importance of clear documentation. So advise them on the importance of clear documentation. We need to find out, informs the physiotherapist regarding any advice, okay, about what? Clear documentation. Or warn them about the dangers, of incorrect diagnosis, whether they are giving any warning about dangers of incorrect diagnosis. Or inform staff of their obligations to patient family. So inform and obligations to the patient's family is the key phrase here. Now, what you need to do, read the text. We have completed question, completed options. Now we are moving to the text. Okay, to all staff. Okay, all staff, not only for the physiotherapist, to all staff they have mentioned. Okay, that means physiotherapist is also included in that. Now, advisory found guilty in duty of care case. Okay, that is the heading here. Now we can move to the text. Okay, can read the text. Recently, a jury returned a verdict of $7.5 million against a pediatrician who neglected to tell a mother or other doctors that her daughter had a dangerous heart condition which later killed her. The circumstances surrounding this incident highlight a breach of a doctor's duty of care to his or her patient, where there was an omission to maintain an accurate record of treatment provided to the patient and subsequent failure to diagnose a dangerous cardiac condition. It is therefore timely to remind all staff that inaccuracies or improper record keeping may have devastating consequences to the patient and all concerned in the care of the patient. Okay, so we have read the paragraph, and I want to inform you everybody, when you will read the paragraph, okay, when you will read the sentences, convert it in your own language. Okay, understand the meaning in your own language. It will be very easy to answer. Otherwise, you will read all the text, then you will you may have confusion. Okay, what I have read, okay, whether these options they have informed in this particular paragraph or not. So you will have that confusion. So for that, the best thing is when you'll read the sentence, each sentence, take the meaning in your own language, okay, in your mind. When you will read, okay, this is the meaning of this particular sentence. Don't read complete paragraph, then think about the meaning. No. When you will read the sentence, at the same time, take the meaning and move to the next sentence. Fine. Now here, they have mentioned regarding advice them on the importance of clear documentation or warn them about the dangers of incorrect diagnosis, or inform staffs of their obligations to patient family. So anybody knows the answer from this particular text after reading the text, what will be the answer? Option A. Why? It's an advisory email. First of all, it's an advice. Okay. Then here they have mentioned, before they have mentioned regarding a pediatrician story, okay, they didn't diagnose properly, all those things, okay, they didn't document all those things they have mentioned. And finally, they have explained, okay, it is therefore timely to remind all staff, that means physiotherapist also included in that, okay, whatever physiotherapist is doing, they have to document it, okay. So remind all staff that inaccuracies or improper record keeping, that means the importance of clear documentation. If you're not keeping the clear documentation, it may have problems in the future. Correct. So inaccuracies or improper record keeping may have devastating consequences to the patient and all concerned in the care of the patient. Fine. So answer option A is the correct answer. Whether they are giving any warning about the dangers of incorrect diagnosis, no warnings. They are just informing regarding that previously this thing happened, right? So they're not giving warning. Then inform staff of their obligation to a patient's family. That is also they are not mentioning. Before that, they didn't inform to the mother regarding all those things. They have mentioned that, but it's not inform staff of their obligation to a patient's family. And here the scale expression, modal verbs, chronological expression and all subsequent. Okay. Then later time expression, recently, then scale, all is a scale, correct? Modal verb, may is also, sorry, may is a modal verb here. So all staff means the physiotherapist, pediatrician, everybody included in this particular thing, scale, right? Can we move to the next one? Now, number 2, the guidelines are providing information about. So the particular guideline is giving information about what? We need to find out that. When a basal test should be conducted, the steps for conducting a basal test, who should perform a basal test? So 3 options. So we need to find out about what they are informing in this particular paragraph, okay, particular text. Options, when it should be conducted. That means the basal test, okay. Then the steps for conducting a basal test, the procedures, the step-by-step, whether they are explaining or not. Then who should perform a basal test, whether they are explaining who is going to perform or who should perform the basal test. So we can read the paragraph, right? Because we have read question, answer options. Now we are moving to text. So the guidelines are providing information about what we need to find out. Okay, management of adults using insulin pump therapy. So they are going to discuss about what? Management of adults using insulin pump therapy. In preparation for surgery, it is necessary to establish a consistent, stable blood glucose concentration in the fated state, requiring a basal test to be performed. Okay, so requiring basal test to be performed. The early involvement of the diabetes steam in people on an insulin pump preoperatively is paramount to facilitate this optimization of glycemic management. The overnight basal assessment can be performed. Okay, overnight basal assessment can be performed at least a few days before surgery, fine, to allow a sufficient input from the diabetes specialist, if necessary, to adjust and confirm the new settings by repeating the basal assessment. The timing of the assessment can be extended to cover the proposed timings for surgery. For example, if the surgery is planned for 9 a.m., then the basal assessment could cover the overnight period up until late morning. So what you have understood from this particular paragraph? Why that is the answer? Why other options are wrong? They didn't mention regarding the steps for conducting a basal test. Who should perform a basal test? Otherwise, they would have mentioned, right, what a consultant or a nurse or whatever it is. So they will mention, right, who is going to perform the basal test. So they didn't mention anything regarding that. And the steps for conducting basal test also didn't mention. Why I asked you this question? Most of the students, what they will do, when they will get the correct answer, they are very happy. They are not bothered about the other options. Why the other options are wrong? When you will know why the other options are wrong, then only your competency will improve. Okay. Otherwise, what we will think, oh, out of 6, I got 4 answers. That is enough. Other 2 options are questions are wrong. Okay, I'll find what is why it is wrong. Okay. So okay, this is the answer. Fine. They'll not think about why the answer options are wrong. Even if you are getting the correct answer, you need to think why the other options are wrong. For example, here the answer option A is correct, but you need to think why the other 2 options are wrong. And for this particular question, for all the questions, okay, in your OET, even if it is a reading part A, if it is in the reading part A, B, C, if it is in the listening, whatever it is, you need to think why the other options are wrong. Fine. So here, some time expressions are a few or weeks. Then name of the device in pump, can is modal verb. Then time period is there 9 a.m. Then overnight is also a time expression, late morning. All these are time expressions. Okay, just marked it for your better understanding. Now we can move to question number. So third question. The safety update states that during the past 12 months, okay, during the past 12 months, at least 1,000 errors were reported. An average of 3.1 errors was reported. More errors than last year were reported. Okay, we have read the question statement, read the answer options. So after reading the answer option, whether you can eliminate any options from this, why? What is at least? Say at least is an absolute. More is not an absolute. This is K. Other than that, anybody, any options? Why? Why? It is one at a time, please. Grammatical error. What is the grammatical error there? Yes. An average of 3.1 errors were reported. Here was reported. Here errors are there. So where? Here it should be where, right? So option B you can eliminate. Now we have only 2 options. Okay. From these 2 options, you can select one answer. Correct. Now it is more easy, right? Now only 2 options and you need to select the one correct answer. Now we can read the paragraph. Whether we need to read the complete paragraph. Here an average of 3 point errors was reported. If it is error, then was reported. Errors, then were reported. Correct. Plural, right? So an average of 3.1 errors were reported. Now we have 2 options. So whether we need to read the complete paragraph or not. Yes, here during the past 12 months, we can move to that paragraph, right? During the past 12 months, here it is during the past 12 months, there were 3.1 reported medication errors per 1,000 bed days, an increase from the previous 12 months attributable to staff reporting medication incidents in line with an increase in reported incidents is continually encouraged, and all staff are encouraged to report all incidents in order to help identify way to improve medication safety. Their first option, at least 1,000 errors were reported. Did they mention like that? They mentioned there were 3.1 reported medication errors per 1,000 days. But here they have mentioned 1,000 errors. Okay. So actually it is 3.1 medication errors per 1,000 bed days. Here more errors more errors than last year were reported. They have mentioned here, right? An increase from the previous 12 months. Okay, that means last year. 1 year is 12 months, right? So an increase from the previous 12 months attributable mainly to an increase in hospital staff reporting medication incidents in line with an increase in reported incidents is continually encouraged. So more errors than last year were reported. Correct. Yes. Okay. Now these are the scales, at least average, more, all these are scales. Then modal verbs are there. Okay. Then can is a modal verb. Then however is the contrast word here. Chronological expressions. No, it's an average of 3.1. It's an average value they are saying, right? So it's no need to think about all those things. It's grammatical. Then time expression here during the past 12 months. Then scale expressions are there. Numbers are there. Okay. Moving to the next question. Fourth question. The policy expects doctors and specialists who visit hospital must. What is must? Modal verb. It's just necessity or obligation, right? So must is a modal. Fine. Now we can move to the answer options. Wait for the emergency officer to provide advice on safety procedures. Follow the instructions of the area warden or emergency officer. Listen to the emergency officer until the area warden arrives. Okay, understood? Regarding the answer option, wait for the emergency officer to provide advice on safety procedures. So you need to wait for the emergency officer. If whatever happens, we wait for the emergency officer. Second option is follow the instruction of the area or emergency officer. You can follow either the area instructions or the emergency officer's instruction. Now listen to the emergency officer until the area warden arrives. Okay, so listen to emergency officer until the area warden arrives after the meet, right? Okay, let's move to the text. Emergency response procedures. We are committed to ensuring a safe environment and appropriate emergency preparedness for our visiting doctors. In the event of an internal emergency, the person in charge has legal authority to direct all parties. Initially, the person in charge, sorry, here typing mistake, okay, area warden, who will be identified by a yellow hat or vest. Once the emergency officer arrives on the scene, they will support the area warden. The emergency officer is identified by white hat or vest. Everybody on site, no matter how senior, is legally required to follow the directions of the area warden or emergency officer. Therefore, the primary role of visiting specialist in an internal emergency is to follow the instructions of those in charge. Which one will be that and why? Okay. So which is the answer? It's B. Okay, we'll see whether B or C, okay, or A. B states that follow the instruction of the area warden or emergency officer. You can follow either the area wardens or emergency officer who are all present. They can follow that. Okay. Otherwise, the next option says listen to the emergency officer until the area warden arrives. Until the area warden arrives, you can listen to the emergency officer, and after that, no need to listen. Okay, that is option C. Your text. Okay, see here, everybody on site. Yes. So everybody on site, no matter how senior, that means whoever it is, doctor, specialist, nurses, or who it is, everybody on site, no matter how senior, is legally required to follow the directions of the area warden or emergency officer. That means follow the instructions, directions, follow the directions of the area warden. Same here, area warden or emergency officer. Therefore, the primary role of visiting specially internal emergency is to follow the instruction of those in charge. Whoever it is, whether the area warden or the emergency officer, they need to follow the instructions. Now, you have doubt with option C, right? So, in the second paragraph, they have mentioned in the event of an internal emergency. If there is an internal emergency, the person in charge has legal authority to direct all parties. Who is the in charge there? They have the legal authority to direct all parties. Whether it's a doctor, specialist, whoever it is, they have the legal authority. Fine. Initially, the person in charge will be the area warden. So firstly, who will be the area warden? Who will be the in charge? Area warden. Correct? Who will be identified by yellow hat? No need that one. Okay, yellow hat or vest. You can identify with him with a yellow hat, and the emergency officer with a white hat. Okay. So once the emergency officer arrives on the scene, they will be area warden. Correct? So who will be arrived initially? Area warden. What they have mentioned here in the option C, and to the emergency officer until the area warden arrives. Opposite statements, right? Yes. So the option C is wrong answer. Am I right? Yes. Now, any doubts regarding this? Yes. Internal emergencies time. Yeah, that same, right? Even if it is internal emergency, who are visiting that time, they must follow all these policies. Correct. If any internal emergency, if some doctors are coming from outside, they need to enter, right? Yes. Same. Fine. Clear? Any doubt? Yes, thank you. Now moving to the next question, question number 5. This email suggests some staff have been looking at patients' records. Options. Option A, okay, outside of normal work hours when they did not relate to them without their managers. So some staff have been looking at patients' records. Okay, so patient records is the problem here. Okay. Now, to all staff, subject new patient privacy safeguards. Ensuring the privacy of our patient is crucial, which is why we have taken steps to strengthen protection of patient health data. Accessing patient records for reasons unrelated to your job is a violation of our privacy policies. Staff should only access patient information necessary to properly do their jobs. To better identify any inappropriate access of patient data, we have installed sophisticated new monitoring software. Okay, the new software will use patient data, human data, and artificial intelligence to detect suspicious activity or unusual patterns in the health system's electronic health records. Such activity will trigger an alert, which will be sent to the privacy office, who will then investigate the matter further. Staff found to have inappropriately assessed a patient record or other data may be disciplined up to and including. Okay, so here, yes, outside of normal work hours. If you are checking outside of normal work hours, whether you are checking the patient records or if you are not related to them. For example, if you are a ward staff and if you are going and checking the ICU files, whether it is to you or not. Okay. Then without their manager's approval, if you don't have the manager's approval, if you're going and checking the patient's file. So 3 options. So what will be the answer? Why? Yes, not mentioned without their manager's approval, not mentioned at all. Okay, you can eliminate. Now, this they mentioned regarding outside of normal work hours. But yes, so if somebody is doing this, they have already installed all these things, right? So they that suspicious activity or unusual patterns in the healthcare system is system's electronic health record. Such activity will trigger an alert, which will be sent to the privacy office. So here they have mentioned access patient records for release job, which is not related to your job, is a violation of privacy policies. So when they did not relate to them, if you're not related to them, please don't check. Correct? Yes. Now, some modal verbs they have here it's mentioned will, so many will. Okay. Further, then here will is there, should. That is also the modal verbs. Fine. We'll move to the next question. The last question. Okay. The guideline highlights the need for. So what it highlights, that is our question, right? We need to find out what is highlighted in this particular text. Option A, the need for accredited interpreters at all appointments if there is a language barrier. Okay. Option B, that an accredited interpreter is recommended for all antenatal visits. Option C, that health professionals are responsible for translating discussions. After reading 3 options, which one you can eliminate? 1 or 2 options, A and B, you can eliminate. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. So you eliminated A and B. Now, option A says the need for accredited interpreters at all appointments if there is a language barrier. If there is a language barrier, then an interpreter is needed, right? Is it an absolute? No. Why? There is an exception if there is a language barrier. That means if there is a language barrier, then you can give interpreters to all appointments. All appointments, if there is a language barrier, that is not an absolute. Simply, if you see all, okay, it's don't think like it's an absolute. Because of that, I told you before only, if you have those words, you have to think, okay, whether it is an absolute, the meaning is absolute or not. Here, the sentence meaning is not an absolute meaning. The word is there all. But they have given you if there is a language barrier. Okay, understood. The need for accredited interpreters at all appointments if there is a language barrier. If there is a language barrier for all the appointments, then you can give. Okay, so that is not an absolute. You can't eliminate that. Now, that an accredited interpreter is recommended for all antenatal visits, whether you have a difficulty in language, okay, language barrier or not, you have to give or recommend all for all antenatal visits. Okay, is it possible? That is an absolute for all antenatal visits. Those who are pregnant, okay, that is antenatal, right? Those who are all pregnant, give an interpreter. Correct. That is not possible, and that is not the correct answer also. That is the absolute meaning, right? So option B you can eliminate. Now you have two options. Okay? Sorry. Okay. So option C, that health professionals are responsible for translating discussions. The responsibility of the health professional is to translate. Others, could you please mute your microphone? Okay, fine. A option I need to explain once again, right? The need for accredited interpreters at all appointments if there is a language barrier. If the sentence, if there is a language barrier is not there, then it is an absolute meaning. Okay, here they have added, if there is a language barrier. That means if there is no language barrier, then no need of interpreters. Understood? Yes, fine. Now option, health professionals are responsible for translating discussions. So it's the responsibility of health professional to translate the discussions. It's not the health professional responsibility, right? Our topic is regarding the interpreter. Definitely the interpreter has to translate the discussions, right? General knowledge. Fine, we'll read the Pregnancy Care Guideline 2008 involving an interpreter. It is the responsibility of the health professional to make sure that communication is clear. So what is the responsibility of health professional? Make sure that the communication is clear, not translating the discussions. They need to check, okay? For example, if the patient is from any other country, you need to check whether you have understood or not to translate the discussions. So option C eliminated, right? So now B eliminated, C eliminated. Which will be the answer? A. Now we need to confirm answer option A is correct or not. Okay, so we need to confirm. Definitely it will be the correct answer, but we need to confirm. Accredited healthcare interpreters assist by translating the discussion between the health professional and the woman, communicating with the woman in her preferred language, either in person or through a telephone service, involving an accredited interpreter, preferably with training in medical terminology, is recommended for all antenatal appointments if the health professional and the woman have difficulty communicating. Interpreters accredited by NAATI, National Association of Accreditation for Translators and Interpreters, have been assessed as having a high level of technical competence in both English and one or more other languages and are bound by a code of ethics including strict confidentiality. However, there is a shortage of accredited interpreters, particularly for languages of new and emerging communities. While involvement of female interpreters is preferable in antenatal care, their availability may also be limited. Okay. Now, in which sentence they have said? Here you can see involving an accredited interpreter, preferably with training in medical terminology, is recommended. Okay, is recommended for all antenatal appointments if the health professional and the woman have difficulty communicating. That means if in between them there is a language barrier. Correct? If the health professional and the woman have difficulty communicating, that means the need for accredited interpreters at all appointments if there is a language barrier. Correct? So recommended for all antenatal appointments if there is a language barrier, if the health professional and the woman have difficulty communicating. Okay. So if you are facing any difficulty with communicating with the patient, you can arrange an interpreter, right? So they will translate whatever you are saying. They will translate to the patient, right? Understood? It's clear. Hope it is understood why answer option A is correct. Okay, why that is not an absolute. Always before selecting the absolute options, you have to think twice whether it's the meaning is absolute or not. So if there is a language barrier, then there is an absolute. For example, I have said you like all is an absolute. But if in your statement, not all, if it is a negative statement, if the sentence says that not all, then someone is there, right? Correct. So that is not an absolute. When all is there with a positive statement, then it is okay. But here, if there is a language barrier, they have given you, if there is a language barrier, then you have to give interpreter for all the appointments. That means these all appointments, they have some problem with their language. Remember, answer all questions, okay? Because you don't have any negative marks in your OET, okay? So answer all the questions. If you're not getting time, as I told you, prefix the answers, okay? If you don't have time, okay? It's the last resort. Again, I'm saying it's the last resort, okay? And that also, you will face these kind of problems. When you choose absolute, you need to think whether it is an absolute or not. So all those things will take time, but still, okay, you can use that think and use it. Then double check the answers at the end. So after finishing all the answers, just recheck it, okay, whether you have completed all the questions. If you left any questions, then answer that. Then don't rush, okay? Read the questions twice. As we have done here, questions you need to read 2 times, because when you will read a question, you will not understand, okay, what I need to identify. Read twice, okay? It will not take much time. Read twice and understand what you need to find out from the particular paragraph, okay? Plan your time. If you want to complete your part B in 10 minutes, plan accordingly, okay? Then part C, 15 minutes, okay, 30 minutes. Now 40 minutes completed, 5 minutes I have for checking my answers, okay? Avoid fear, practice, practice and practice. It's not, I'm not saying like you have to practice all the materials, okay, which are available, practice all the materials. No, it's your quality of practice, not the quantity of practice. If you are practicing only 5 materials, it is enough, but you need to know why the answers are correct, why other options are wrong, okay? What is the question, why they have asked this question, like from the particular paragraph, why the answer is correct, why the other options are wrong. So you need to identify all those. If you are practicing 5 materials, you will get 30 questions in part B, right? 30 questions, 6 questions in each material, right? So 30 questions you have practiced. That is enough. But you need to know each and every question, whatever they have mentioned in the test, as well as the answer options and the questions. Okay, it's not you need to mug up all the things. No, you need to understand the strategies. Which strategy you have applied in that. Okay, why it is correct and why the options are wrong. Do your best, forget the rest. Okay, forget the rest. So balance everything. Fine.